My goddaughter's stepmother tried to replace her real mother and got a dose of karma.
Karma needs to come to someone.
This is a story about my unofficial daughter, Ella. Ella is the daughter of a dear friend of mine who I will call Mary. Mary and I had been friends since secondary school, although we had less contact during college. Due to her studying abroad, we remained close. At Mary's and her husband Tom's wedding, I played an important role. When Ella was born, I was made godmother. When my twins were born, Mary became godmother to my daughter. We were part of each other's family, honorary aunts and uncles. 14 years ago, Mary got sick with hubby and I stepped in to help where we could. Ella was 10 at the time of the diagnosis. It seemed to go well at first until it didn't. Mary passed away when Ella was 11. We were all devastated.
Aww.
Mary's parents had left Mary with some family heirloom jewelry, and when Mary was terminal, she made her will. I will be honest, Tom is a good man at heart, but has no backbone and does everything to avoid confrontation. The man is worse than me. I know that I also lacked a backbone. Mary was very afraid what would happen if he would marry again and that person wouldn't have Ella's interests at heart. In her infinite wisdom, Mary made an ironclad will. The heirloom jewelry was left with me, as Mary wanted me to give Ella everything when she would marry. Tom had documentation and insurance papers of every piece, as did the attorney who made Mary's will. After Mary's death and funeral, Tom and Ella got our support. We helped Ella navigate a life without her mother, standing in when she needed me as a mother figure. We helped Tom with whatever support he needed, and when Ella was 12, Tom met Clarissa. Clarissa couldn't have children of her own, and when she and Ella were introduced to one another, she latched on to Ella. Clarissa tried to erase Mary's memory in whatever way she could and inserted herself in every moment possible. She introduced herself as Ella's mom and completely became jealous of the bond between Ella and me and tried many different things to separate us. Things took a bad turn when Ella was 14. I remember this day very well. It was a Monday. I had an appointment with a client at the venue they owned at the time. This appointment was later in the day. The venue itself was a nice one and often used for reunions, birthdays, weddings, and the owner let the elderly people use it twice a week for their hobbies and activities. Tom's mother, Stacy, who was still alive then, was a volunteer and helped in the organization. I was waiting in the lobby when Stacy saw me, came up, and we started to chat.
Okay.
Eventually, the owner came and greeted us with the remark, "Oh, how wonderful to see you here. I'm so excited for Tom and Clarissa's wedding this upcoming Saturday. I'm sure you are as well." Stacy and I were shocked. Wedding? What wedding? No clue. The owner sensed something was wrong. When the shock had worn off, the owner and I went to the office and conducted the business that I came for. After this was done, I asked some questions. Wedding is this Saturday? What time? How many people? I managed to gather everything. The owner even showed me the contract with both signatures of Tom and Clarissa. She gathered that we didn't know and was somewhat shocked as she knew our history. Then I went to find Stacy and told her everything. This woman was livid. Her son was getting remarried and she wasn't informed nor invited.
Yeah.
I also hadn't heard anything from Ella. She told me that Tom and she would go away to have a father-daughter day. At this point, we had the growing suspicion that Tom had been lying to Ella about that Saturday's plan. That is crazy. That is crazy to be like the daughter and expecting a father-daughter day and you just get your father marrying this terrible stepmom.
Yeah, you're literally marrying the evil stepmom.
Surprise wedding.
You are a Disney character.
To unravel this growing mystery, she and I went to pay Tom a visit. We had some time until Ella came home, and we didn't want her to see or hear any of this. Stacy went off the moment he opened the door. She barged in and furiously told him to explain himself. Clarissa came home and joined in the fight. Accusations flew left and right. In a quiet moment, I asked, "Does Ella know about your wedding?" "What wedding?" "I don't know anything about a wedding." Ella had come home earlier than expected. Practice had finished sooner. Then the realization hit poor Ella. She asked Tom if that was the plan for Saturday. Their wedding instead of some father-daughter bonding? Clarissa cut in and told her that she had been motherless long enough and this wedding would give her a new mother.
Oh my God. You can't replace my mom. Stop trying to. You're not my mom.
Ooh, boy. didn't even get the chance to say anything. Her beloved Grandma Stacy did that for her. Stacy tore Clarissa a new one, bluntly told her that she had a wonderful daughter-in-law and that she would and could never replace her. A wedding wouldn't change the fact that she disregarded Ella's wishes from the get-go, trying to erase the memory of a good woman and mother, and trying to destroy the relationship between me and Ella. She also told her own son that he was a weak-willed man, and that is why he was never made the executor of Mary's will, because she had always known deep down that she couldn't trust him to protect their daughter.
Oh my God. She sounds like a lovely bowl of soup that you just want to slurp on a cold day.
Yeah. To add insult to injury, she told him she disowned him and would make sure neither he nor the piss-poor substitute would get anything from her. Props to Stacy, man. Stacy did not hold back. She had something to say and she said it. She shouted it. And with that, she asked me to drive her home. Ella was enraged and wanted to live with her grandmother. Tom and Clarissa said no. Ella came to us, but we couldn't do anything. Tom tried to threaten us by saying that he would forbid Ella to come to us if we did or said anything. Hubby laughed in his face, asked if he was Clarissa's lapdog now, and said that we didn't need or say anything to him or Clarissa in Ella's eyes, as we couldn't do a better job than they were doing themselves. Ella became silent in the next couple of days. They became the talk of the town.
I mean, it's a big blowout. I can understand why.
Stacy told a lot of people what was going on. People do love drama. So Saturday rolls around. Our children had their prearranged sleepover with some relatives, something that we saw as a blessing in disguise. We were nervous. We decided to go to Stacy's as we figured she was just as anxious. At 11:30 a.m., Tom called us in a fury asking where Ella was. We had no idea what he was talking about. After some back and forth and us telling Tom to stop the legal threats, we got the story. Apparently, Clarissa had bought Ella a dress for the wedding. Absolutely not Ella's style, but hey, it's not like Clarissa ever listened to what Ella told her. Ella had taken it upon herself to buy a black dress and shoes as if in mourning. Yeah, I mean, celebrate your mom over this.
Yeah. I mean, it's a statement.
She had managed to sneak in the dress, and when asked for privacy to get changed, she spilled some drink on the dress Clarissa got her, then put the black dress on.
Wow.
But she didn't stop there.
I feel like that's like almost like art, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this is like Princess Di level of, you know. Clarissa hadn't put on her wedding dress yet. She had booked a room that had something like a sliding wall, separating two rooms, each with their own beds, vanity, etc. She had stored her wedding dress in the front room, and she was in the other room where the hair makeup stylist was busy doing the hair and makeup of the blushing bride. Ella snuck in and put itching powder in Clarissa's dress.
Oh, wow.
Then she left the room as quietly as she had come. Tom flipped his lid when he saw his daughter. Ella couldn't care less, showed him the dress Clarissa gave her, and sat at the front of the venue. When Clarissa saw her, she seemed very angry, but focused on the ceremony. She was visibly uncomfortable and kept pulling her dress and scratching it.
Nina Nilsson says, mature, shimmersure.
Yeah. When the famous line of object now or forever hold your peace was said, Ella made her speech.
Oh, wow.
Ella is pulling out all the stops,
all the stops,
man.
dude. Yeah.
This is an impressive 14-year-old. The owner later called and told us what was said. Ella spoke her mind about what Clarissa had done and not done, how Tom had failed her as a father, and that Clarissa would never be her mother alongside some other thing. Then she left the venue.
Kind of just like poetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Tom tried to call Ella, but she was ignoring his calls. Stacy managed to contact Ella and picked her up. Afterwards, she called Tom, basically saying her granddaughter would spend the rest of the weekend at her house and she would bring Ella home Sunday evening. Ella was silent but had a look of satisfaction on her face. We hugged a lot and told her she's always welcome at our house and that she was loved. Sunday evening, Stacy takes Ella back home. According to Stacy, Clarissa looked like a slice of raw steak due to her scratching herself.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Clarissa
Ooh.
started to freak out the moment they entered the house, screeching at Ella about, "You ruined our wedding! This was out of line!" And my personal favorite, "How could she do this to her mother?"
Stop taking the role of mother.
Girl,
Like,
you
let go
can't
of
catch
it.
a hint. Oh, how I wish I could have seen this myself. When those words left Clarissa's lips, Stacy slapped her and told Clarissa that she would never utter those words to Ella ever again. She wasn't her mother, and her spreading her legs for her son wouldn't change that fact. Stacy read them the riot act, telling them that if they even thought of barring her and me and hubby from Ella's life or making Ella's life more difficult, she would make their lives a living heck. Tom and Clarissa didn't try anything until Stacy passed away when Ella was 16. She kept her word, disowning her own son. He only got what the law allowed him. The rest went to Ella. Since Ella was still a minor at the time of the will change, Stacy named 2 executors to make sure Ella got what Stacy left her. This included her apartment and some savings. Can you guess who those 2 were? Give yourselves a cookie if you think it was me and hubby. Did we know? Yes. Did we say anything to Tom and Clarissa before Stacy's passing? Nope. Did they lose their minds? Yup. Did we care? Absolutely not. Did they try to fight the will? Of course they did. Did it matter? Nope. Stacy had made sure that several independent doctors had declared her of sound mind before she made the will. Since Stacy had also given Tom his rightful inheritance by law, he couldn't do a dang thing. Tom called us after the court's decision to try and get us to give him the role of executor of the will alongside Mary's belongings that she had given to me. He tried saying that as Ella's father and Mary's widower, he had more right to that role. We just hung up and he didn't try again. When Ella turned 18, everything was transferred to her. Ella left the house, and from there, she slowly rebuilt somewhat of a relationship with Tom and, to an extent, Clarissa. Clarissa calmed down a bit after Stacy's slap, and Ella became an expert in shutting them both down. Hubby and I have stayed out of it. After Tom's attempt of getting his hands on Ella's inheritance from both her mother and grandmother, we've had no contact. We never contacted them, and they never contacted us. We have always supported Ella in the following years. She went to college, traveled abroad, got a job, and got her life together.
Woo!
And that is the end of that story. My sister-in-law lied to her in-laws about our family. I couldn't stay silent. I am 25 female and have an older sister, Kate, 30 female. She and I were never close due to our age difference and because she hated that our dad married my mom and had me after divorcing her mother. By the way, this comes from OK Client 3075. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, Kate claims dad told her he never loved her mother and that my mom was his true love. She also claims that our dad always compared the 2 of us, asking her why she had to be a difficult child and that overall, he loved me more. On the other hand, dad claims nothing she says is true, that she was very problematic and insolent. And these claims are backed up by my mother and dad's parents, so I assume Kate was never 100% honest. Anyways, these are their problems that do not concern me. Some time ago, Kate reached out to me and told me she got engaged. I said, congrats, and everything. She told me she had a favor to ask. She explained that her future mother-in-law is very family-oriented, and it does not sit well with her that Kate is estranged from her family. In her words, future mother-in-law considered something to be wrong with Kate, and she is to blame for being no contact with her family, fearing Kate will also influence her son to do the same thing. What Kate wanted from me was for me to meet her in-laws so they could see she does not hate her family. I joked that her future mother-in-law sounds a little insane, but I agreed to help her because at the end of the day, I never hated her, and I don't think she hated me either. The fact we are not close does not mean we hate each other or want bad things to happen to the other one. Anyways, I went to meet Kate, her future husband, and her mother-in-law and father-in-law at a restaurant. They are very nice people and very warm. At some point, mother-in-law said something along the lines of being happy to see that the abuse we suffered did not affect our sisterly bond. I was confused and asked what abuse she was talking about, while Kate tried to change the subject. Mother-in-law says it's okay that I have nothing to be ashamed of, and that she knows from Kate that our parents mistreated us while growing up. I clarified that that's not true. We were never mistreated by our parents or anyone in our family. We were raised in a very loving family. We were never hit or spanked, no matter what we did. Our parents are well off, so we always had everything that we wanted: clothes, phones, laptops, cars, etc. Mother-in-law got very, very angry. She apologized to me and started insulting my sister. She called her a liar, accused her of being manipulative and trying to insert herself into their family by being dishonest. What happens is that Kate accused our parents of many things that are not true. Now Kate is accusing me of ruining her life. She says her engagement is over, the in-laws hate her, and her fiance does not trust her anymore. The thing is, I don't think I did anything wrong. I cannot sit and hear people blasting my parents for her lies and for things that never happened.